joining me on Time Machine. This is your monthly love reading for the month of July 2017, and this will be for the sign of Pisces. So let me go ahead and give you an overall card for what message you'll be working with for the month. You got the card of instinct. If you're single, it's saying when you meet people and trying to find a person to be in a one-on-one relationship with, it's saying that you have to be more discerning when it comes to the people that you're meeting. Is saying that you're gonna have to use your internal compass when it comes to meeting these people and how they present themselves and trying to get into your own feelings based on how they are presenting themselves to you, the way they talking to you, or what they trying to promise you if they was in a relationship with you. It's just saying use your own internal compass when it comes to dealing with people that you think have a potential to be in a relationship with. If you're already coupled up, what it's saying is that it may be certain things that's going on in the month that you may have to use your own judgment or intuition when it comes to your feelings with your companion, or your companion would have to use their internal feelings with dealing with you if they kind of certain things are going not to plan, or your relationship becomes a little bit rocky. It's saying kind of dial yourself back and use your own feelings at that time to move your relationship to a more better standing from where it is at that current time. So let me go ahead and get you some cards to see what messages can help you for the month. Okay. The card you have in the center of the reading is a star in reverse. A star in reverse is usually, when it's in the upright, is usually a card that's saying that you're being optimistic and positive about everything that's kind of happening around you or whatever you coming in contact with. What it's saying is that if you're single, it's saying that you're meeting people that you are not basing a lot of confidence in them. Is maybe because they may have a negative aspect about themselves, or they may be presenting themselves in a negative aspect when it comes to being in a one-on-one relationship. Either somebody is doing this to you or you're doing this to somebody else. When you're trying to talk to them, they is reading something else that is not a positive when if they want to get in a relationship with you. It has this kind of aura on it that it is like you are negative Nancy to whatever you want to build with that person. It seems like, or that person is doing this to you. If they're trying to talk to you, they may say certain things that could rub you the wrong way or give you a different impression that shines a negative light on them. If you are a coupled up, it's just saying that during the month you may be hitting a period that things in your relationship or your bond looks kind of weak or kind of bleak because it never was that course before. Then all of a sudden this comes up and is giving you a negative feeling or aspect or some kind of negative vibe on the bond that you currently have with your companion. Is or your companion can be coming at you and you would go ahead, like if they bring something to you that may be a benefit for your relationship, you're seeing whatever they're bringing to the table as more of a negative than a positive to help the relationship. Either your companion's doing this or you're doing this. When you bring something to them that you feel can help them in a relationship, they is automatically taking the negative. They are pointing the negative out first before they will think about the positive that could happen in the relationship. What you have underneath you is the Ace of Wands in reverse. So the Ace of Wands in the upright is usually quick action, or ready to move on to something else, or getting new information that can help you go somewhere, go and lead you down a certain path. If you are already single, it's saying that you could be meeting this person, or this person can be coming at you, but they're coming at you slow or reserved about themselves. They may You may be putting up a wall with the negative attitude. So any potential candidate that you have to be in a one-on-one relationship with, or somebody that you like to be in a one-on-one relationship, is saying that they're coming slow because they see what kind of action or vibe that you're putting out there. Either they're doing this, or you're doing this to somebody else, or they you present yourself as negative Nancy. They want to run up and be in a relationship with you from prior experience with you, and they're slowing their pace towards you because they see it's something going, you're presenting yourself in a certain way that is not beneficial or positive if it's going to be in a one-on-one relationship. Another thing, if you're single, you could be meeting a person that has no drive about themselves, or they present themselves a little bit lazy. You could be doing this to somebody when you going to talk to them, or they doing this to you, that when you talk to them, it shows that you don't have no ambition. And that's what is maybe one of the things that's causing people to slow down coming at you, or you slowing down with the people that you're trying to get into a one-on-one relationship. Because after you talk about it with trying to be in a relationship with them, they probably, you see they are negative Nancy, and they don't have no kind of bright outlook of being in a relationship. So you decide to slow down and not really kind of pursue them, because you know if you adopt them, they may be lazy, they may not take enough energy, to work on a one-on-one relationship. If you are already coupled up, what it's saying is that either you is doing this or your companion is doing this. They're taking a step back and re-examining the relationship. They're not trying to push forward to put something new on the table because of the attitude of something negative, or your companion is taking a negative spin on everything, or looking at it in a negative light. So one of you, either your companion is doing this to you, or you doing this with your companion, you're stepping back, but you're not stepping back to break apart, because you don't have really no cup cards in it in the reading. What it's saying is you're trying to step back and reevaluate what is going on, or why this negative attitude is popping up, or why this new way of thinking about certain things that's happening in your relationship all of a sudden popped up. It's more of stepping back and more reflecting without bringing something new to the relationship to kind of confuse what is already going on in your relationship. What you have in the past is the Tower in reverse. The Tower usually means a change from an external factor that is bound to happen no matter what. But in a reverse, it's saying in the past, whatever you was doing wasn't bringing the kind of candidates or potential people you wanted to be in a relationship with. Even if you took the time to be with the people, it wasn't going to change you for the better, or make any catastrophic change to build you to a greater understanding of how to be in a relationship. And maybe that's one of the reasons you're not trying to rush up on anybody, because every time you get into a relationship or decide to be in a one-on-one relationship, you find out that that person is not bringing anything new to the table to change you as a person to be in a relationship or change the environment that you both are in as a couple. So you kind of step back, or you're not trying to have you're not trying to get a potential person that is like that. And either somebody thinks this about you, or a person you dealt with in the past was like this, that you got into a relationship and they just didn't bring a catastrophic change to the way you think or perceive, or added a certain benefit to be in a one-on-one relationship with them. If you already coupled up, what it's saying is that it you may be hoping for change between you and your companion, but the change has, whatever y'all did, it didn't bring nothing. It kept your relationship more on the same old, same old. It didn't really bring nothing new to make it exciting, nor did it bring anything into the relationship to make both of you grow. So it's sort of the same way if you're coupled up and single. You in the past was probably looking for something to put a new oomph to the relationship, but it when it did, it kind of fizzled out. So it didn't really matter if it was done or not to the relationship, because it didn't bring nothing new to the table in the relationship. What you got a crowning above you, you have, this is temperance. No, this is not temperance. Excuse me. This is judgment. You have judgment in reverse. So judgment in reverse is saying, if you're single, it's saying that you may be meeting a candidate, or somebody may be doing this to you, that they are they are super critical. And now you may be being super critical on people based on their negative Nancy attitude that they're presenting to you, or somebody is doing this to you when you present themselves to you. They're being over judgmental on the stuff, or they nitpicking every, no matter how you come at them, they put it under some kind of scrupulous kind of standard, and they putting, as they doing that, they putting a wall up, and they ain't trying to let you go no past a certain point. When it comes to trying to get them in a one-on-one, they being super critical, and maybe at this time you're being super critical because you're looking for a relationship that's going to bring you some change and put a little more happiness underneath your belt, so you can kind of enjoy the relationship. And I really want to say the word enjoy the relationship that you in with a one-on-one person. But it's saying that maybe you're being extra critical because that's what you're looking for, or somebody's being extra critical towards you because that's what they're looking for. They looking for a relationship that it has a brighter side to it, or it makes the person want to do something for their significant other. And that's what is coming about. So you, this judgmental thing of nitpicking everything that you say to try to get them to be in a one-on-one relationship, has, you're going to be kicked up. And maybe that's why the instinct card is out here, because with your instinct kicking up, you're going to be at a state that you're going to put everything under the microscope, because you're trying to internally digest what they're saying to see if it has a benefit for you, or it don't have a benefit for you, or how's it going to fit in your current lifestyle, or how could this make me better. So I'm gonna have to internalize everything these people is bringing to me, or somebody be doing this to you, that everything that you're bringing, you're trying to internalize it so much, it's causing you to filter all the information that this person is trying to present themselves with to be in a one-on-one relationship, making you extra judgmental on what they trying to present to you to be in a relationship. If you are a coupled up, it's just like with the Ace of Wands, that you're trying to step back and kind to figure out what is going wrong with your relationship. On the top scale of it, as you're stepping back, you're trying to nitpick every little flaw, or these certain kind of negative things that are all of a sudden coming up. You're trying to be critical about it, and maybe being the person being critical, or your companion can be coming like this at you. They can be coming at you as negative Nancy and super critical. So you stepping back trying to figure out what's going on, or you're being like that when your companion is trying to bring something to you that you think can work for your relationship to make it better. You being real scrupulous on what they trying to present to you. The last card you have is the Empress and the Upright. So the Empress and the Upright is saying that if you're single, you are at a state now, or somebody's coming at you, that they in a state to ready to birth into something new when it's coming into being in a relationship. They ready to kind of venture out and see what is there and see what kind of options, and they ready to give their love to somebody in a nurturing way. It may be a underneath quality that these people was having, but what's coming out first is the negative Nancy, and the negative Nancy could be coming out because of past experiences that they dealt with other people before. Either you're doing this to somebody or somebody doing this to you, that they're coming to show that they're gonna be real affectionate to you, but the first thing that somebody is seeing is a negative aspect of it. Maybe somebody is seeing it as being too nurturing, or they seeing it as being more of a need freak, or they overbearing. They just give it out and it's overbearing kind of, and you could be going through that feeling. Either you're presenting this to somebody or somebody's presenting this nurturing aspect, but it's having a sort of a nasty drawback. Like if somebody's coming at you too emotional, you're going to step back and not run forward on it, because you're going to find that it's something maybe wrong with it, or something wrong with that person, and you're going to be extra judgmental on it, because you're going to try to figure out what that person is trying to get from you outside of trying to be in a one-on-one relationship with. Either you're doing this to somebody or somebody's doing this to you. um if you already coupled up, it can say a couple things. If you already coupled up, the moodiness that can be coming up, and I'm have to put it out there because the Empress is a card of giving birth or having a child. The moodiness can be coming from somebody may find out that they're pregnant, and they mood swings is they mood all of a suddenly change because they're trying to digest some internal feelings and see if it's positive, negative, where you stayed at is now currently in your relationship. Can you afford to have a child or whatever? And all these weird things, all this real critical stuff is coming up because somebody may be pregnant. I have to put that out there. Or the mood swings of the stuff is coming about because of some kind of hormonal change or whatever due to the pregnancy. I have to put that out there. Or what it's showing is towards the end of the month, if either your companion is doing this or you doing it with your companion, you are ready to start showing your companion some love after a certain period of being kind of critical and feisty and stuff, because you probably figured out it's having a negative aspect on the relationship, and by the time the end of the month comes, you're figuring that, oh, I better change gears, and then your companion or you becomes more nurturing, more affectionate, more caring about what you could bring on the table that could help the relationship become better. But it's more, I'm feeling it's more towards the end of the month that this may be happening. So let me go ahead and get some clarifiers on some of these cards to see why the negative Nancy's and the slow movement and the overcritical stuff is jumping off. You got the devil in the upright. So this negative aspect is either the person, I hate to say the devil upright means being a hold to vices. Maybe the person is on drugs or alcohol or whatever, and it's changing their mind state to be more negative than positive. Or this person is just a person that likes to complain, or like, and this is for singles and couple up, maybe the person likes to complain or your companion likes to complain because that's their normal the habit of how to get something from somebody by complaining more than showing any kind of affection to get it the opposite way. So basically they're chained to a negative outlook on something. So singles, if you're trying to meet somebody, you may meet somebody that's just, that's how they are. They can't, no matter how much spin you can put on it, they always is going to see the negative, because that's their MO to exist to get in a relationship. So that's one aspect. If you are already coupled up, it's just saying that your your companion is in a foul mood. He's in this foul funk that he's changed. He or she is chained to either you doing this to your companion or your companion is doing this to you. That you is locked into this weird negative aspect of everything that somebody brings up. It has a negative vibe to it, or you putting out a negative spin on it, or you interpreting it as a negative because you're chained to the pattern of giving that response off. So let's see what else you got. Yep, you got the Queen of Wands in reverse. Definitely having a negative aspect and being real moody about it, or being real lazy, or kind of, to me the Queen of Wands in reverse comes off super conceited to me. It's just like no care, or just they having no care when it comes to how they are presenting themselves, or how they putting this negative spin on everything. They're going to put it out there and they're just being a bitch about it. It is what it is. If you are a single, I mean single, looking for somebody, what it's saying is that this person that you meeting, even they're going to be a bitch. They're going to be a bitch about it because they like doing that. They like taking the negative, and I always call it taking the opposite side. Because everybody that figures they need to be in a relationship with one on one with somebody, they figure that one person act one way and the other person acts a polar opposite way, and that's how it's supposed to be creating some kind of balance in the relationship. But whatever is coming about, either you're doing this to somebody or somebody doing this to you, they present themselves as a negative Nancy and being conceited like it's the way it should be, or being a straight bitch about it because they feel what they're saying is the final, basically the final word, no matter if it's negative or positive. They figure they have the final word on it, kind of. And but they final word is negative, and it's a continuous pattern that they always present to somebody. If you already coupled up, it's just saying that um that your companion is moody, is just super moody in the mud, kind of laid back, not paying attention to nothing, kind of, leave me alone, kind of, just being in and out of these weird emotions and this weird negative aspect that they're going through. Let's see what about the Ace of Wands. See why you're not trying to do a run up on these people. Justice in reverse. So you already know, if you're single, either somebody think this about you or you think this about somebody else. If you run up on this person, you already thinking that you're not getting a fair shake once you present yourself to the person on a one-on-one. The person is already negative Nancy, and you figure if you run up and try to present what you have on the table of offers of being in a one-on-one relationship, you already got a mindset, or you maybe have your eternal compass turned on, your internal instinct saying, nah, this ain't gonna work. Even if I want this person, it's just not gonna work. Somebody's thinking about this about you, or you doing this to somebody else, and that's the reason why this person is not running up, because they already think once they present themselves to you, they already gonna get the bad end of the stick. They're gonna get the bad end of the stick no matter which angle they come at or which information they want to bring to the table about themselves, or they already see themselves hitting a negative wall once they present themselves to you. If you already coupled up, what it's saying is with what your companion is going through, it's definitely they in a mood swing of funk, and it's making them one lazy and making them feel like even if they have something positive to bring, they feel that it's going to get washed in the garbage can once they brought it up. Even if they had a good idea to help you build your relationship to a tighter one-on-one, they feel no matter how they bring it up, it's already going to hit the brick wall and to go fall by the wayside because of the initial presence that's there of you looking at stuff at a negative Nancy off the bat. They just doing that. Let's just see. Yeah, definitely. Magician in reverse. Singles. What it's saying is whoever's trying to bring some stuff, they feel it's not enough. Basically, because magician upright says they have everything at their own capacity or in their grabs or in their head or in their heart to go and do whatever they want to do. They don't need somebody else to tell them, oh yeah, whatever, I'm just going to go and do it. um this person that's trying to come up to you, or you're presenting yourself to somebody that you don't, it's like, no, you don't have nothing to work with either. Whatever you bringing to the table to these people, it's not enough. It has a feeling of not enough. I mean, you could be Harry Houdini and open up a chest, but it's still not enough for them. No matter how you present it to them and how you try to polish it or make it look good, or it's just not working because you trying everyone, and maybe you tried every angle. This is also, to me, magician in the reverse means that you tried every angle, or this person tried every angle, and they was just getting roadblocks, or it made them look more funny, or it made them go into this more negative aspect about dealing with you, or you did this with somebody else, that they was pulling out every trick in a book to get you, and none of it was working. None of it, I mean, they was left short on what kind of angle they could have came at you to get into a relationship. If you already coupled up, it's just saying that as you sitting back trying to figure out all this negative, how all this negative stuff is coming about in your relationship, and not feeling, and it's the same thing that you're trying to figure out a way to present something to this person without offending them or out getting your companion mad. Either you're doing this with your companion or your companion is doing this to you. You're trying to figure out a way to bring stuff to the table to help the relationship, and when you bring it up, it's not enough, or it's the wrong timing, or it's the wrong thing that you brought up at the wrong time. It was like a bad magic trick. Instead of you pulling a rabbit out of a hat, you pulled out a candy bar. It was like, okay, this is not working. It's just showing that you is running out of options yourself of bringing certain stuff to the relationship to help the one-on-one bond. And I don't think you ran out of stuff. I'm being real honest. I think the timing of everything is going off kilter. It's going off, that you're trying to want to do something, then you have to step back and try to analyze it, and then you analyzing what you're trying to bring to the table, and you might have already a negative aspect before you even let that suggestion go get put on the table to see if it's going to help the relationship. That's one vibe I'm getting, but it's just saying that you may have tried every angle to satisfy your companion. I mean, you probably fed the belly, You probably gave it up at night. You probably, washed all the drawers. I don't know, but it seems like you tried everything, and it's still not changing your companion's negative Nancy aspect. Either they doing this to you, or you doing this to them. One of them is getting down like that. So let's see why the tower in reverse jumped off. Oh, okay. For singles, you got the Ten of Cups in the upright. Maybe what it was saying is, and I'm really putting it up out there. Maybe these people in the back that you was satisfied within yourself. That's why I'm getting with it. You was content and happy and whatever. And you, when you was trying to find some companion in the past, this is singles trying to find some companion in the past, or somebody came at you like that. That you already presented yourself as a person that had enough emotional stability in yourself, and why have somebody else? It was one of those things that sometimes you can be over confident that could build a wall and at the same time, but it's saying that at that time when that person came up, the person, you already had your cups full. The person couldn't offer anything to you, and what they was offering to you, with you being critical and trying to judge it and trying to filter it out, it just didn't fit within your happiness. So you didn't try to bring any current disruptions to how your state was by bringing another person in that was maybe unstable or negative Nancy or whatever. You was happy and content with your emotions and where you sit at the time this person came up to be in a relationship. Either you did this in the past or somebody did this to you. If you was already coupled up, it just says that in the past you had happier times, and it just hit this weird wall of negative Nancy that ended up throwing a monkey wrench in your relationship. In the past, you was probably a happy couple or whatever, or your companion was happy all the time or whatever, or y'all was very content of what you had. Now all of a sudden, this negative aspect jumped off with the attitude that got interjected in the relationship and made a change. Let's see what else you have. Oh, okay. The Empress upright. Definitely, if you're single, this was definitely saying either you presented this to somebody or somebody presented this to you. You was super in content. You was nurturing. You was happy. You was this. And when you was trying to find somebody in the past, they just didn't fit it. Maybe in the past you presented yourself to somebody and it was, you was happy and everything, and you may wanted a baby, and the person kind of freaked out and kind of took a negative aspect or interjected some negative comment once it was brought up, and you was like not really tripping on the person, or you dropped the person or whatever because they wasn't fitting into your construct of what a happy relationship is, or they was not trying to, you was nurturing, but this other person that you may have tried to get to in the past was not nurturing, nor that was they fully happy and content of what they had in their life. And I had to put that up out there. And I mean, I had to put that out there. That's what I'm saying for singles. Either you did this to somebody or somebody did this to you. Now, for couples, this is about to get strange because you got two Empress cards. Maybe the negative aspect, and I'm gonna have to bring this out here because you got two Emperors upright. Maybe somebody thought they was pregnant and got disappointed, and then it's saying that it's a chance for you to get pregnant again in the future, but because of, it was a lot of hopes of putting maybe you got a false diagnosis on a pregnancy, and you was happy, content, ready in the past, ready for the baby, but the test went foul, or it wasn't what it's supposed to be. So you had a letdown. Now is this negative aspect about having a baby because of a past thing that was more of a false start on having a baby. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I don't want to say miscarriage because I could tell miscarriage in a chord, but this ain't it. It seemed like it was hoping and wishing and everything was going down, but it came out not to be, and it sent your companion kind of in this negative thing about having a baby because it's a sense of failure that I'm getting. That it's a sense of failure, or it's a sense of, oh, it couldn't be true this time because it wasn't true the last time, but it was showing that maybe you was happy, ready to have a child, and some kind of thing jumped off and it sent this thing into a cartwheel. So, let's just see why you extra critical with this judgment justice thing at the top. Let me see. Okay, if you're single, either somebody did this to you, or you did this to somebody else. You being extra critical and judgmental and weighing out your options with dealing with these people and trying to nitpick of what they saying and trying to comb what they saying and trying to really analyze it and sit back because you have another suitor in the wings that's in your scopes, or that you have in mind that to go with. Maybe one person is talking to you, ain't saying nothing, you're being super critical because you're focused on somebody else that that wouldn't take this much effort or energy to get them to be in a relationship. So you're caught in a cross of having two people that you can deal with. One of them you shutting off because they present themselves in such a way as a negative Nancy, or they being polar opposite to you, or whatever it may be. But you have somebody else that you thinking about, or you're kind of in a cross of finding which way you want to go. Do you want to deal with negative Nancy or run to this other person because this other person has less energy? But at the same time, if you're critical on one and judgmental on one, you probably not ready to move up on the other one with the Ace of Wands in reverse at the bottom. You may not be ready to run up on the other one because you're going to continue a pattern, and this is for singles, that you judging one, you're about to get ready and judge the other one. Either one is going to get it light, or the other one's going to get put through the ringer. And you probably already knew that, so maybe that's why you stepping back on it and not really trying to rush up on the second person that you have in mind. Either somebody's doing this to you or you doing this to somebody else. They're not trying to rush up on that other person because they know that second person that they're going to have to put the judgment call on. If you're getting it, either that other person's going to get it double worse or may not get it as worse, and that's an aspect that is happening. If you are a couple up, what it's saying is you're trying to scope out a couple options to how to you can build your relationship back. You may not have presented them to your companion, or your companion, you could be doing this to your companion, or your companion is doing this to you. They may not have presented it to you because they still sitting back and wondering which one is the best one to bring to the table, even though they feel they exhausted their moves out with the magician in reverse. They still have something under their sleeve, but they're being very critical of which one to bring to the table to see which one would change your move from negative Nancy to super positive, so you can move forward to build something positive in your relationship. Let me go ahead and get the last card. Yeah, if you're single, you got the Seven of Cups in reverse. What it's saying is you're definitely only focused on two people. You grilling both of them, or they doing this to you. You may be a part of a two situation, and the person is grilling you because they're trying to figure out which one of person is the better fit for them. So, and that's what is coming. They're not looking at multiple people. They staying really in tune. They just saying one, two. That's it. They don't want to take on so many a person, they don't want to take on a person that, one, has too many options to them, a lot of options of them not being the one candidate, or they don't want to junk themselves up, or you don't want to junk yourselves up with so much contenders in your possibility of being in a one-on-one relationship with, that you just humped it down to the two you want, and you scrutinizing and and judging both of them to see which one is the one that can be a potential mate for you. Either somebody doing this to you, or you're doing this to somebody else. If you um already coupled up, what it's saying is that either you're doing this to your companion, or a companion is doing this to you. They making it real simple. They're not trying to junk up the situation. They just want to keep stuff one and two. They're not really trying to do a whole mess of stuff or interject a bunch of stuff in time. And it can be a bunch of reasons. And some of it is the attitude. Some of it is the disappointment of having a child and it didn't come through, or having a child in the future, or trying to change your mood around to kind of bring up a subject of having a child, or whatever. They're not trying to bring in a lot of options to confuse the situation. They're trying to keep it real simple, straight and narrow, one, two, A, B. They're keeping it straight and narrow to make a logical decision of how to bring in something in the relationship that could benefit both of you. Either your companion is doing this, or you're doing this to your companion. And with the bottom at the ending of the message, just use your instincts on this whole scenario. That's singles and couple up. Use your whole instincts on whatever I talked about. Just use your own internal compass, because that's what is going to guide you and navigate you through all this kind of weird confusion of dealing with people that have a different attitude than you, or people in a mood swing, or people that is trying to figure out how to bring in something new into a recurrent relationship. So I hope you like this reading. Go ahead and hit subscribe. Go ahead and leave your comments at the bottom. You can thumb the video up or down, and I'll talk to you later.